While there is some debate on when exactly Skyrim is set, I think it's fair to include it in this list of the best medieval games on Switch based on the visual design and items that you can find throughout the game. It may be set in a different timeline to ours, but the design used for elements like the weapons and the ships points to a medieval era. Skyrim is a household name nowadays when it comes to fantasy games, and with good reason. Set in a fictional world full of dragons, demon lords and magic, this RPG is a classic and worth adding to your Switch library immediately. It's a truly immersive world. There's a main storyline to follow in this game, but the player has a lot of freedom in regards to side quests and exploration. You get to customize your character fully too. Skyrim looks great on the Nintendo Switch, with only a few minor visual concessions made to make this huge, open-world port work for the console.
Let's go see!
Alright then, time to run.
Not all Middle Ages stories revolve around knights, epic battles, and kingdoms struggling to survive. Sometimes, it's just two youngsters attempting to survive all the dangers that a world shrouded in darkness has to offer. The trip in A Plague Tale: Innocence is similar. Through Amisha and Hugo, you'll play as a brother and sister in the game. The two are attempting to dodge the evil inquisitors who are hunting them, while also attempting to flee the swarms of rats, carrying the dark plague that are sweeping the area. They can only avoid the terrible fate that awaits them by banding together.
Many tried to invade us,
But we pushed them back!
because we are the House of Darun.
The remastered version of From Software's legendary game that continues to influence countless studios all around the world landed on the Switch in 2018, and it is as much of a joy to play in handheld mode as it is on a big screen. Seeing as it's a port of a 2011 title, Dark Souls Remastered runs very well on Nintendo Switch, with no significant performance issues throughout the entire game. It received some much-needed graphical improvements, but in all honesty, they are only really visible in docked mode. Other than that, it is the classic Souls experience, and its success makes it all the more disappointing that the remaining two Dark Souls titles are nowhere to be seen on the Switch. While Geralt of Rivia may not be your typical knight, he is very much a warrior that goes on missions for the people in order to stop the threats that lie in the dark. What's more, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt very much allows you to explore the medieval-style world that The Witcher is set in, and thus you'll get a true feel for all that is going on both big and small. Add that to the DLC that actually shows you various regions that look like different parts of Europe, and you'll get an even better feel for this medieval world. Try Battle Brothers if you want a game where you can make a lot of decisions and determine how the plot develops. In the game, you play as the leader of a mercenary group and venture forth into a harsh medieval world filled with various contracts that will test you. You can decide not only who is in your company but also what contracts you take on, how you equip and develop your party, and more in this extremely open world game. But that also means that it's up to you to ensure everyone's survival and the success of your mercenary team. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is easily one of the most unique video games ever made, and was made with a very clear purpose in mind that you have to see and experience for yourself to truly understand. In the game, Senua is a woman who has lost her lover and is desperate to get his soul back. the trek to do so will test our mind, body, and spirit, as well as our sanity. Experience a game about mental health from the perspective of a warrior and see just how much it affects you.
You can deny.
She finished him.
Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning was the rebuild of the original game that had a very curious development and release. The game was a success, but the development studio folded soon after. However, a cavalcade of developers came together to rebirth the title and give you an RPG experience that will need to be experienced. The game is set in a vast RPG world that has been ripped apart by war. You will get to go up against some terrifying monsters and foe, and you'll need to build yourself up into the ultimate warrior in order to make it through. Add to that all the DLC from the original game that was added in, and you'll have plenty to enjoy in Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning. Are you ready for an old-school 8-bit style adventure? If so, then you need to get Shovel Knight. This is a game that inspired a whole lot of spin-offs. You'll play as Shovel Knight, who learns that the tower that his partner was once lost and has returned. Now, he'll travel across the land, beating bad guys, getting gems, and bounding across the terrain using a unique assortment of items. Will you be able to make it through the difficulty to find out what happened to Shield Knight? What hidden parts of the world will you find as you go through it? Jump into the game and find out! If you've ever wondered what it would actually be like to go on a grand journey through some of the most dangerous places in the world, Darkest Dungeon will actually help you see that. Because on the surface, it looks like an RPG roguelike where you recruit people to go and join you on your quests and adventures. But as you soon realize, you're going to have to actually take care of these people, as the quests will wear on them both physically, mentally, and emotionally, and when they die, they're gone for good. So if you think you can keep it together, you'll want to check out the grand adventure that is Darkest Dungeon.
Begone, fiend!
In Northgard, you play as a clan of Vikings who have been sailing for years in order to find a new home for themselves. They soon come upon a land that seems to be perfect for them and set up a small colony. But as they soon learn, there is much more to this land than meets the eye. There are giant wolves that can lash out at you, undead warriors, and even mighty giants that you'll have to fight or befriend. You will not leave this new land, so build up your homestead, prepare it for the dangers that are out there, and claim this place as your own. If you're wanting a title that is truly about the wars of medieval times, then Ancestors Legacy is the one you'll want to go after. Mainly because in this game you'll play as 4 different nations depending on your playstyle: Viking, Anglo-Saxon, German, or Slav nations, and then go to war across Europe in order to make everything yours. But if you think this is just about the battles, you'd be wrong. Because the title forces you to think as you would as an actual commander. In this case, meaning that you need to use the terrain and various strategies to overcome. So be the best leader you can be, and secure your legacy for centuries to come. One of the coolest games brought to the market, Graveyard Keeper takes a turn for the morbid in terms of gameplay. Players become the full-time manager of a graveyard. Players start with a little plot of land that they form into a graveyard and build it into a monumental mortuary over time. Much like a farming simulator, players must build up and maintain the grounds, and run their medieval graveyard successfully. Players will need to complete quests and objectives to keep things running smoothly. Another interesting and grotesque mechanic is the ability to form alliances. Now, this isn't just any alliance. Players can sell off the blood and body parts from the bodies they receive at their graveyard to those in need. Reign's Kings and Queens includes actually 2 different games in one. They have Reign and then Reign Her Majesty. As the ruler of the kingdom, you will decide which edicts and proclamations go into effect in the virtual world. Your kingdom will either succeed or fail based on each and every choice you make. Whether people would think highly of you as a leader or poorly of you as a dictator. Therefore, you must decide what you want to be in advance and then figure out how to make that kingdom a reality. Overall, this is one of the best medieval games on Nintendo Switch that you can download. Breath of the Wild is one of the best games ever made in the minds of many, and you'll get your money's worth if you get it. In the game, you play as a very different version of Link, as he's the survivor of the calamity that is Ganon. Ganon controlled the ancient guardians of Hyrule that was meant to protect the people and instead turned it against them. Zelda has sealed Calamity Ganon away, but to save the realm, you must free the ancient beasts, retrieve the Master Sword, and stop Ganon once and for all. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is the latest installment of the Zelda franchise and sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Fans of the franchise already have plenty of expectations for this one, which is based off of an overabundance of ideas left over from the previous game's DLCs. While all the heart and action will be the same, now players will get to explore a series of floating islands above Hyrule. Dive among the clouds, scale cliff sides, and hop from island to island using different landing pads. For a more true medieval experience, you need only look at Kingdom Come Deliverance. In this game, you'll play as the son of a blacksmith who is thrown into extraordinary events, as his life leads him to join the rebellion against the king in a quest for revenge. That question will help you shape the land of Bohemia from top to bottom, so thus you'll need to be mindful of how you conduct yourself and your character's actions. Will you be an honorable warrior who shows how the kingdom should be? Or will you be one who does nothing more than rend blood from his enemies to satiate what he lost? The choice is yours.